In this video, we're going to be tasting, wait for it, black tomato gin. Crazy. We're going to be tasting that all the way from Holland, and then we're going to be trying it with these 12 tonic waters to see which one works best with this gin. Stay tuned, it's going to be a cracker. Hey gin fans, I'm Steve the Barman, and I would love to thank you for stopping by yet another one of my gin review videos. I'm absolutely loving this at the moment. I did take a week off last week for my birthday, but we are rolling videos again, and as I said at the top, today we've got a very interesting one coming up. But if you're just stopping by for the first time, the whole premise of this my channel, I always get asked by people, specifically in the moment, Steve, what tonic water works best with what gin? Well, a lot of the time it's potluck for me, especially with all these weird and wonderful gins coming out. This is the first ever time I've ever held this bottle, let alone tried it or tasted it. So right up until this point, I've got no idea of what tonic water works with it. So that's the whole premise of these videos. Each one on Wednesdays and on Sundays, we take a gin, we try it, I tell you what it tastes like, and then we try and match it up with a certain tonic water to see which works best. We are kind of sticking to the main big brands at the moment with Schweppes 1783, Fever Tree, Franklin's and Sons, and then we've got, so this side's always the kind of plain tonic waters, and in this side we kind of have the sort of flavoured tonic waters, and I do occasionally get some some different brands in there as well. We've got Merchant's Heart in there today, and Lamb and Watts. So yeah, lamb and basil tomato, we shall see in a bit. So if you love the sound of that, let me know that you're watching. Please give me a thumbs up and let me know in the comments. Give me a shout out, drop your name in there and I'll give you a shout out in the next video. If you've got a gin that you really want me to try and review and see which tonic water it works with, then let me know in the comments. I really want some more gins to try. I've got loads obviously on my list, and I've nipped out to my local suppliers today to pick this up. But if you want to know something specific, then drop me a line, hit me up in the comments, and I'll get back to you and I'll review it as soon as I can. Anyway, let's crack on. Black tomato gin. Yes, it really is a thing, and yes, it really is a gin. It's not a liqueur. I don't know whether it is, wow, it's really small. 42.3%. So it's kind of, it is a proper gin, but I'll explain to you in a bit why certain people might not deem this as a proper sort of gin at the moment. But I want to tell you a little bit about it because I've been researching today, see if I can find out some more. The website's down, so obviously we've not got the proper official stories. But here's what I managed to find out about black tomato gin. So as I've just said, this is a 42.3% gin. Kind of a proper strength in that. It's not a liqueur or anything like that, and you can get it now. This is quite an expensive gin, as I found out today. I got it from my suppliers at sort of wholesale price at 36 including VAT. However, for you guys, you're looking at Amazon or you're looking at the drinks supermarket, and I'll drop affiliate links in the show notes where you can pick those up from as well. But you're looking at about 40 to 43 pounds a bottle. Now that is really expensive when you consider that this is a 50 centilitre bottle. So not the big normal 70 cls that we get in the UK, but this is a really sort of small 50 centilitre bottle. And to put that, if you're pubs and bars, if you're watching, that's a 20 shot bottle as opposed to a 28 shot bottle. Now this gin is a Dutch gin from Holland. It was released in 2014, and it's kind of, I can't pronounce the little village where it's from, but if you look at Holland on the map, it's just south of The Hague and Rotterdam in a kind of little fishing port around there. As I said, two friends that got together in 2014 and came up with the idea of this. One of them was a gin lover, loved gin, and I think I read that he was into peanuts as well, something to do in the peanut industry. And the other friend grew, here it comes, black tomatoes. Now if you've never seen a black tomato before, no, they're not bruised tomatoes or anything like that. They are proper black tomatoes in colour. Very rare that you see them in this country, maybe at specialist fruit and veg shops and things like that, but I've certainly not seen them in supermarkets or anything like that. Now the tomatoes from this actually get grown in Sicily. And when they're ripe and ready to get picked, they obviously get harvested and then they get exported back to Holland. And the distillery where this gets made is called the Kampen Distillery, spelt with a K at the front. It's a Kampen Distillery. And what happens when the tomatoes get back to the distillery is a very simple 3-stage process. Basically, the tomatoes get crushed with a neutral spirit, and then that gets distilled to make the first distillate. And then they distill just juniper in another neutral spirit to get technically what you'd call gin, because all gin has to be legally is neutral spirit flavoured with juniper. So that's the kind of gin element. But then the third part of the process, they distill yet another neutral spirit with a secret botanical. No one knows what this botanical is apart from the guys at the Black Tomato. So we have no idea about that. I have read that some people think it's a floral botanical. I couldn't possibly tell you. No one actually knows. So it is a secret. But then what happens when they've got these 3 separate neutral spirits? They then get blended with purified salt water. And then that gets, obviously your neutral spirit when it's distilled is up in the 70s, 80% proof. So they take those 3 neutral spirits, blend it with purified salt water, and then that gets brought down to, as I said, 42.3% ABV. And that's where they've got their gin. So 3 botanicals, that is it. We've got juniper, we've got the black tomatoes, and we've got a secret ingredient which some people believe is some kind of floral botanical. So I'm really looking forward to this. Let's crack on, let's try it, have a little smell of it and see what it tastes like, because I literally haven't even smelt it yet. I've set up and that's it. So we've got a large gin balloon. Yeah, I'm going to say it again. If you haven't got any, again, affiliate, most supermarkets sell them these days, but there's affiliate links in the show notes of where you can get them from my suppliers, drinkstuff.com. I love drinkstuff.com, and they've just get launched in September, but they've just created their own, don't know what to call them, gin balloon trees, champagne saucer trees. So a couple of them are on pre-order and I'll have some of them ready for September events. Can't wait for that. Anyway, that's drinkstuff.com. Get them. These are quite, they're not elegant or sophisticated. These are what I use for my events. Quite a thick rim, about £1.50 a glass, and that's it. What we're going to do, as always, we've got a rather large, chunky 5cm ice cube. And to put that into perspective, if you can't see, that's a normal ice cube. Look at that. And that's a proper chunky one. So I love using the big 5cm ice cubes in my gin balloons. When I'm on events, I just use 2 of them in there, and that's better because when you've got lots of little ice cubes, they just melt and you've got a watery drink, especially in this hot weather after time. So you've got nice big chunky ice cubes. That's what I use. A pack of 2 off Amazon is about £7 or £8 at the moment. Again, links in the show notes. I'll stop giving you links in a bit, but that's what you need. So we're going to take a little bit of this. Let's pop a little bit of gin in there. Whoop. That smells a little bit of tomato. Right, let's keep that up there. Swirl that around a bit so you're getting a little bit of dilution. You just want a touch of water just when you're tasting neat spirits, just to bring the flavour out a little bit more. On the nose, you guessed it, I'm just getting a very subtle hint of juniper, nothing too strong, not a big offensive juniper hit, and just a really kind of deep fruity tomato smell. It's kind of weird actually. Very weird. Anyway, let's try it. Wow, that's really unusual, because when you try it, you do get juniper. You get a big proper pint of juniper on there. When it hits the tops of my lips there, I get massive tomato. But actually when it hits the back of my palate, also it fades into juniper, and that's all I really get. It's really weird. And then the aftertaste, you kind of roll your tongue around your lips, you do get that tomato. Very, very, very weird. This is going to be interesting trying this as a gin and tonic. Anyway, right, let's crack on. For those of you that have not seen these videos, I'll quickly explain what we do. I've got 12 tonic waters lined up here, each one in a tasting glass, and what I've got in each and every tasting glass is 5 ml of gin and topped up with 15 ml, 15 ml of tonic water. Why that? Because it's a 1-to-3 ratio. That for me is the perfect ratio for a gin and tonic, 1-to-3. So if you're going out to a pub or bar, I keep saying this every single video, if you're going out to a pub or bar and you order a single gin and tonic, you want less than half a bottle of tonic water in there, because even half a bottle is 1-to-4. And if you put the whole bottle in, that's 1-to-8 ratio. That's just diluting your gin. And if you're ordering a double gin and tonic, which a lot of you are going to do, it's 3/4 of a bottle, 150 ml, 50 ml of gin to 150 ml of tonic water. That's all you want, 1-to-3. By all means, if you want to add a bit more tonic, if it's too strong for you, absolutely fine. We're not going to shout at you for that. But to get the true flavours of the gin and a really nice gin and tonic flavour, it has to be a 1-to-3 ratio. Some of you, I know, even drink it 1-to-2, which is even less. But for the purpose of this, it's 1-to-3. Anyway, cut the waffle. Let's crack on. First up today, I keep mixing the order about. First up today, we've got Franklin's and Sons normal tonic water. Ooh, interesting. At first, when it first hits the palates, that's really nice, really drinkable. When you leave it for a couple of seconds, that's when you get a bit of tomato coming up. That's really weird, really interesting. Okay, this is normal Schweppes. It's been around since the year dot. Slightly more bitter for me than the Franklin's and Sons. Again, very drinkable. 17 Schweppes 1783. This is their premium crisp tonic that they launched at the start of 2018. I don't think that works for me. There's a little bit of clash going on there. Very kind of, I don't want to say dry, but very almost tanniny. I don't know what the word is, but not a huge fan of that. That's not working for me at the moment. At the moment, it's normal Schweppes. Right, this is 1783 light, and the reason why I put this one in there and none of the other light tonics is because there's a slightly different flavour to 1783 light. Very, very slight hint of grapefruit in there. Nothing more, just a slight hint. So it's a different flavoured sort of tonic water to the other light versions. Anyway, for me, actually, that's the first time, but that actually, for me, works better than the normal 1783 crisp. I still wouldn't say I'm a huge fan, but it does work a little bit better. Anyway, Fever Tree. It's nice, but I've still got that weird aftertaste. I suppose it is tomatoes, but it doesn't really taste tomatoes. Just a really weird kind of aftertaste. Let's go back to the Schweppes. I think for me at the moment, it's still Schweppes over Fever Tree. And this is the last one. This is the Fever Tree aromatic tonic water. So for the old school gin and tonic drinkers amongst you, aromatic tonic, essentially in the old days when people used to ask for the original pink gin, not pink raspberry gin that you get these days, but the original pink gin was gin, tonic, and then a dash of Angostura bitters. That's what that is. Ooh, now that's slightly better. So, my favourite of the plain tonic waters would be Schweppes. I really don't. I don't know. It's that thing, at first taste it's really nice, and then it's the aftertaste. I'm going to say Schweppes. I'm going to stick with Schweppes. And then probably second choice would be Fever Tree aromatic tonic. So that's what I'd call the classic tonics from this side. So let's get on and try the flavoured tonics, because I'm quite excited by some of these. I keep having to look at my monitor down there to see what's there, because really weirdly they've got the label, the back of the label right there instead of there, so you kind of have to turn it around. Anyway, I always want that to keep front facing, so that's why I'm looking at the monitor for that. I want to make sure that that's always facing the front there. There we go. Right, first up, I'm not sure if I featured this one before, I can't remember, but this is Double Dutch. Big love for their tonic waters. They've got some of them are actually not tonic waters, they're flavoured mixers, but today I've got pomegranate and basil. It was the basil element that I thought might work well with this one. So that's actually really nice. Okay, I've restored some hope in that gin. We might find a tonic water where that really does work well. With that, you get the slight fruitiness of the pomegranate. You got the basil that comes through afterwards. Basil obviously works really well with tomato. I think that works very well. Right, this is Lamb and Watt plain basil tonic water. Again, that works. Not quite got the fruity thing going on. However, the basil, I think it does need that. The basil kind of masks the aftertaste which you get from plain tonic water with that gin. It kind of complements, and I think that's what normal tonic waters are missing with that. Kind of needs another flavour to complement. That's really nice. Third up, Fever Tree Mediterranean. Again, that's really nice. All three of those, head and shoulders above all of those so far. Right, next up, here's one I've been looking forward to. I think this might work quite well. This is Franklin's & Sons, part of their new range. Just keep popping out there. This is rosemary and black olive. So we're kind of going the whole, maybe pizza kind of flavour thing going on there. So this is part of their Epicurean range. This is rosemary and black olive. If you've got kind of a bitter palate, if you've not got a really sweet tooth, you will absolutely love that. That works very well. For me, I need that slight sweetness, so for me, the Double Dutch is still in the lead. Now, I've got absolutely no idea why I chose these last two. I just looked at the bottles and thought, man, that might work quite well. So this is Merchant's Heart that you can get on your high street, Sainsbury's, and I think Morrison's do these as well. I've not seen them in Tesco's, but I don't go to Tesco's that often. But anyway, they're in Sainsbury's. This is pink peppercorn. I always get muddled up which one's which. Pink peppercorn. Not there's any difference between that and Schweppes imported one, but again, it's another one that works better than those. Absolutely, that works very well. And finally, this is I'm not holding out much hope for this one, to be honest, but this is Schweppes 1783, part of their new premium range. This is their cucumber tomato salad thing. Who knows? Actually, that does work as well. Wow. So, to sum up from this, if you see a bottle of that, don't even contemplate drinking it with normal tonic water. If you do, Schweppes for me is the best one out of that, simply because I think it's just got that little bit extra to it which will mask the aftertaste that I am getting. I don't know what it is, but I'm just getting a kind of a nastiest aftertaste, which I personally don't like with normal tonic water. However, when we come to the fruity side, take your pick, really do. I think this is the best one for me, without a shadow of a doubt. So this is Double Dutch pomegranate and basil tonic water. That would be my recommended serve. Let's twist that around, there we go. So that would be my recommended serve there. Second place, I would do normal basil as well. That works very well. And you know what? Any of those in third place, I really do. Pink peppercorn works very well. As I say, if you've got that bitter, savoury kind of palate. Sorry, I should have said savoury, not bitter. But if you've got that savoury palate, then the rosemary and black olive works very well as well. So, hope you enjoyed that. That's been my review of Black Tomato Gin from Holland, from the Netherlands. If you've tried it, if you've tried and like it with any of those tonic waters, then please let me know in the comments below. I would love to know. Or if you've got a different tonic water that I've missed and not contemplated, then I would love to know that. But I'm telling you, my recommended serve, that's in first place, that's in second place. So I've been Steve the Barman. You've been watching my gin reviews. Give me a thumbs up, give me a comment, and I will catch you next time, which will either be, depending when this gets rolled out, either Friday or Sunday.